All right, cool. Well, I'm proud of all of you. You have gotten to day 8. Day 9 is tomorrow. Are you guys pretty much done with the powder and the pills?
Close, yeah.
Close?
Getting there.
I was very heavy-handed with the powder because I wanted to kind of finish it faster. You guys are probably like a third as full. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of deviating a little bit from the packet because basically we were doing the cleanse, as the book says, they tend to be all the way basically back into the regular eating. And one of the biggest benefits of these type of cleanses is the elimination aspect and the reintroduction to figure out what is kind of possibly having you have food sensitivities or allergies that you may not be realizing. So I wanted to kind of go in a systematic order of reintroducing food back in. I'll put this order on Facebook too, of where to start tomorrow and the next following days and what to kind of look out for as you reintroduce things back. So I modified this based on what people were saying they were craving the most, and for most people that was carbs. So I thought since you've all been such good little cleansers, we would start with what everyone likes the most, and we're going to start with wheat gluten. So tomorrow, you can start back to wheat products, almost all of them contain gluten.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Everyone done.
Tomorrow. And what I want you to do with that is eat as much of it as you want. Alright? But here's what I want you to watch out for. These are kind of the symptoms of like food sensitivities. Phlegm in the throat. So after you eat it, if you're noticing that you're kind of like that frog in the throat feeling, that means you may have some sensitivity to it. Or if you start feeling like you're coughing or sneezing, or if you feel foggy that day, especially if you feel foggy the next morning, if you feel fatigued the next day after having that, and lastly, if you eat it and like an hour or two later you have kind of loose stools, how will I write that? Loose.
Loose BMs.
I like that. Loose BMs. So those are all signs of sensitivity, and if that happens, you're going to want to really consider how committed you want to be to returning to having that part of your regular diet. Because if you are eating something that is causing you to do that after you eat it, that's having a whole physiological effect on your body all of the time. So gluten is one of those that is a very interesting thing, because a lot of people have sensitivities to it. So that's what we're going to start with tomorrow. So day 9 is going to be wheat gluten. Eat as much of it as you want. Just note those symptoms and note how you're feeling. If you do feel those, feel free to reach out to me or write it on Facebook or whatever. And just kind of note to yourself, okay, maybe this is causing something. The other thing that might also be a trigger is that the next morning you wake up with those like seasonal hay fever allergies. Have you guys been struggling with your allergies maybe on those ones that you typically do struggle with? What's that?
I typically get them.
Yeah.
And have you been having them? The last 10
On
days?
and off, actually.
Okay. Well, if you get them, for example, the next day really bad, that could kind of let you know that there might be a sensitivity to that. So day 10, I figure people are probably missing the dairy and eggs, so we're going to go that next. So you can do dairy and eggs, yes, the next day, and see kind of what's going on with that. So go back to the same kind of, the cheese, right? So go back into that again, same symptoms. If you start feeling this, that's going to let you know that there's a possible kind of trigger there for you. Day 11, I will do soy. So putting soy back just because so many people eating their tofu and things like that, as well as so many of the protein shakes are soy-based. Alright? So day 12, we're going to go back to corn. So you can kind of have corn. People do tend to have, some people have corn allergies, so that's why I have that as an individual one. Day 13, I put nuts in here last, so at one point in the cleanse we have eliminated nuts. So you can have nuts on day 13, and then originally I was going to do this a 15-day cleanse, but I kind of went through this last night, and I was like, you know what, we actually can finish on day 14, so we can celebrate day 14. And you kind of go back to eating the way that you have. But these are the main key allergens that present for people, and these are the key things that we eliminated from our diet during the cleanse. A couple of things I was wondering is, here we are, day 8. I know we've had some struggles and some people have done well. What differences have you noticed in your kind of overall kind of health through this? Any changes, good or bad? Or do you think pretty much the same? Start with you.
I was thinking of one since I was walking over here, and I feel good. Do I feel like, oh my god, this is the best I've ever felt ever? No.
Okay.
But I haven't felt bad.
Uh-huh.
And I've gone to the grocery store multiple times and successfully dropped down without sweets and sugar, which is a big step for me.
Yeah. So how do you feel this has changed your relationship to, let's say, some of the foods that you ate in the past?
It's pretty good. The fact that I can eat like this and not feel like I'm deprived means that I'm spending time this weekend thinking about how I can change my diet moving forward.
From an observational standpoint, your skin looks a lot better. Like you just had look like a more kind of glow to you, I guess is the best way of putting it. It's just something that when I saw you walking in, I was like, oh. That's
Awesome.
Kinda, yeah, that's kind of one of the nice things. How was drinking all the water?
It's fine.
Okay, good. How about you, Vinny?
No, I felt really good. I mean, I didn't feel like it wasn't too stressful or too challenging at all. It was just more like the cravings. Like, I realized like, the desserts or sweets that I can eat. I don't really like desserts. I don't like ice cream.
Right.
I really like it once a month. But just because that was like, I realized it was really good dessert and I could eat it with fruit. No, I felt fine the entire time. Yeah, I think my skin is so much better. I think a lot is because I'm drinking. I was drinking more like 6 ounces.
Yeah,
just
good.
in my office and stuff. But the hard times, like today, I didn't drink as much water as I should have. It's the only weekend when I'm running around in the office full. Yeah.
Right, and if you're drinking all that water, you just keep going to the bathroom and all that stuff. I think my husband was ready to kill me in Mexico because I'm like, gotta go to the bathroom again. And I'm sorry to tell you guys that your pee was going to turn bright yellow. Don't do that. I should have told you that.
I was like, drinking a lot of water. I feel like this should be clear.
Exactly. I was discussing that with the guys.
Or when we wake up in the morning, it's like neon.
So the bright neon pee is from the B vitamin that's in the supplement that's kind of detoxing you. So excess B vitamins, your pee turns like, what is that? Freezer, Gatorade. There you go. Yeah. How about you, Joyce?
I struggled this time. I mean, I've done a cleanse before. I struggled a lot more this time.
What was different with this cleanse and the previous cleanse?
I mean,
Just diet-wise or nutrition-wise or?
I think they let us do almond milk and stuff like that during the, and I kind of miss that there, a little bit of that dairy substitute.
Okay.
Yeah, have that, and then especially, and I was allowed decaf coffee on my other one, which I appreciated because I at least could feel like I was
Right.
satisfying that craving.
Right.
So I'm already kind of wearing when I'm gonna have my first cup of coffee.
I would say probably right about here would be a good place to have it.
Wait.
Because at this point, you're, got your dairy back into it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. How about you, Chloe?
I think the 30-day one we did was a little easier just because the shades I'm so tired of apple juice.
I bet.
I don't usually drink juice. I mean, the foods were fine because the foods we eat all the time anyway.
Right.
We eat a lot of those foods all the time. It was just elimination. I feel good, but I don't, I'm still really tired when I work out. So I'm looking forward to getting back to having my full energy.
Right. Well, these next few days will be interesting just to notice what your body kind of is sensitive to.
Yeah.
The first few days are really hard, especially for those that have a sweet tooth, because the addiction to sugar.
Yeah.
So those first few days of just feeling like crap, feeling just foggy and gross and disgusting is probably the best way I could describe the way I was feeling. That shows us the power sugar has on our body.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's
think
so addictive.
The single biggest thing I noticed was not craving sugar. Because the coffee I worked out, that's fine.
Right.
The sugar.
And that's huge, right? So basically detoxing from sugar is similar to having like withdrawals from a drug.
Yeah.
And so that's why I actually told people that eat a lot of sugar, start titrating down the week before. But that just, for me, when I had that experience, it just really made me think to myself my relationship with the sugar. And I thought to myself, actually I got mad. I was like, how dare they? Because these food companies realize that. They realize that by putting sugar into things, it makes it more addictive. So I mean, if you look at the ingredients of some of the food you eat, and you're like, why is there sugar in these different things that I don't feel like should have sugar? It's just kind of interesting. So it's just one of the things that you will find is when you do go back to eating sweets, it's going to seem incredibly sweet. Like all the food's going to seem way too sweet. Like even eating banana, you're like, ooh. Having mango or something like that, it seems really sweet. Do you guys have any questions or concerns or any feedback or thoughts you want to get back to me regarding the cleanse or how it went? Things you would like changed, or things you would like different?
Less protein shakes.
Less protein shakes? Okay, alright.
It's too much. The day 5 through 7, 4 times
Oh, 4 times a day is too long.
That was brutal. Yeah, I agree.
Oh my God, I can't eat anything else. I better have one shake. There's no time for food. I kind of stopped eating anything other than shakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. By the time I had the shake, I
It's
didn't
full.
feel like eating anything else. And I just didn't bother.
Right. All right. Fair enough.
Four is a lot in a day.
When do you put in, start eating meats, like red meats and shit?
You actually can start putting meats back in. Basically, I mean, at this point, the cleanse, you can start eating meat again to the packet. So just still making sure it's, grass-fed, stuff like that. But from this point on, basically, you kind of miss a little bit of it. This is kind of the order. I'll put this order on Facebook too to kind of start introducing food, and then these are the symptoms you want to look out for if they start feeling this. Yeah, so I'm really excited that you guys all got through it. I know it's tough and it's hard, and the change in the relationship to food is like the biggest thing that I want people to take home from this, is just realizing how addicted sugar and caffeine. Like we really use caffeine as a crutch to get through things. And when we take that out of our diet, sometimes it forces us to be a little more aware of where our current body state is. We're not hiding the sugar, the stimulants, and all of that stuff. So I know it's hard, but then starts. When you go back to caffeine, start slow. Because you're gonna have 1 cup of coffee and just fly. Yeah. Same thing with sugar. With those things, start slow and just notice how it makes you feel. Because you're gonna get that sugar rush really high, and you're gonna have a really hard sugar crash when you go back to the sugar. Just kind of the way it goes. Kind of when you sugar your kids for the first time, right? They go crazy, and they just crash. Well, cool. I'm super excited for you guys to kind of find out through here. And if you do start experiencing these symptoms of that food, really consider yourself, is this something I want to continue having in my diet? Because that may be something that you would want to remove from your diet. For me, this is a big one. The dairy and eggs. Latino, Mexican, and Latin America, age 30, we tend to start having allergies to dairy and eggs. It's one of those kind of weird things genetically for us. But the soy and the corn are pretty big for people, and then the gluten for a lot of people as well. So just notice those things, and if you feel the symptoms, it's at that point your choice if you want to continue eating it. At that point, you know basically your body's having a response to it. How is everyone's kind of bowel movement through this? More regular, less regular, more solid, less solid? Everyone loves talking about poop in public.
You know, more solid, I think.
Okay.
Still fairly solid.
Okay. Hopefully nothing, no neon yellow.
Yeah.
All right. That's a little bit. Yeah. Vinny?
Yeah, I was surprised. I ate more frequent throughout the day, but yeah, it was more solid.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And it was like constipation.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah, for sure. And that's what it should be like when you're not having allergies. Like the loose, kind of really loose stools, that's not good. That's not healthy. So if it's something you're still kind of suffering with, probiotics are something that can be really good to help kind of the flora in the stomach. It's one of those things that's really good thing, or good high quality probiotics to kind of take in. So that's something you're still struggling with, and you're getting some probiotics, you're really managing that for a good month, and make sure that your flora is all good. You guys want to talk about your food, that's okay. But if you want to, that's what you want.
It was regular, very regular.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, the gas was killer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's interesting, I didn't have that.
All those Brussels sprouts?
Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, for me, my stools, I'm usually pretty regular, but I was much more regular than I normally am, and much more solid kind of type stools. I had this dairy and egg sensitivity, and every once in a while I kind of fall into old habits, and it just catches up to me right away. So when they take that out, I do much better. Cool. Well, good job, everyone. And then we were talking about doing a brunch. I don't know if you guys want to do that, day 14, or if you want to do that weekend. Yeah, let me get our calendar out. Yeah, I'm going to close this up.
It's Mother's Day.